Welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. Today we're going to do another pick a card on the person on your mind. So with these readings, I like to do just like a card for the person on your mind, and then where they're at, what they're doing, their energy towards you, their thoughts, and their feelings. So we have 3 piles. As you can see from the thumbnail, you can maybe kind of see them here. But yeah, like I always say, just go with the very first one that you see as it comes across your screen, however it does. Just whatever the first thing that you see that catches your eye, just go with that. And the thumbnails will always be in the description. So with the first pile, so for all 3 of these, we're using the Alleyman's tarot, just like each third of the Alleyman's tarot. So with pile 1, we have this here. I have no idea how good y'all can see this. We have this here, and this was the card. And then for 2, we have this little, I think it's like clear crystal, and this is the card. It needs to be a little higher. Okay. And then number 3, we have this like star. And this was the card. So yeah, pick whatever pile you feel most intuitively drawn to. We're going to start with pile 1. So that was this here, little like round stone. And this here. So we have the person on your mind. Where they're at, what what they're doing, their energy towards you, their thoughts towards you. And their feelings. So we have the Fool, the bottom of the deck, the rubber ducky. It's like it symbolizes like the start of the journey, like it's like the comforts that you take along your journey, like when you're just starting out and just learning things, right? Like when we're a kid and we're just learning how to like take care of ourselves and clean ourselves and like bathe and stuff. It's like something fun and comforting to make that process of like growing up a little bit and becoming more self-sufficient, still kind of like childlike, or on their level, or still make it like fun and enjoyable or relatable, for someone small that's going through this journey of growing. And like I said, like becoming more self-sufficient and independent. So yeah, with this card, it's like this energy of uh the like little things that you take along with you, like in the traditional tarot, how he has like the knapsack over his shoulder as he's like going on. It's like the things that you carry with you or take along with you to give you that little bit of comfort, to make it more relatable, or yeah, like more tangible for you somehow, to go along your journey and be able to integrate and learn different experiences and be able to become more self-sufficient and independent, and learning how to like take care of yourself. So that's the bottom of the deck. So the person on your mind, we have the death card in reverse. So there's some sort of like quick, sudden change that's kind of happening in their life or coming about, and they're resisting it right now. They're in this, they're like fighting something. Or maybe, okay, so with this card in the reverse, this person is like fighting back, or like it's like going into battle or defending themselves in some way, and it's in the reverse. So they could actually be like resisting some sort of change by not fighting something. Like they're no longer, it's like it's kind of in its energy of kind of like giving up, but still it's like no longer being defensive, but then still kind of like being resistant. Let's get a clarifying card here. It's like no longer, it's like not standing your ground, like not being willing to stand your ground, but being resistant to something changing at the same time. Or it's like not moving forward and making the adjustments needed to be made in order for something to change or to shift here. So that's how there's like this energy of not fighting or like not doing something, but then at the same time, it's like still resisting like a change happening around them. So it's like, yeah, they're like refusing to take some sort of action, some sort of direct action, or some sort of something they need to kind of like take head on in order to make some sort of change or adjustment period more smooth for them. And they're like resisting it, or um, choosing to be like passive, or to like not take some sort of actions. They're trying to resist some sort of like transformation or shift like happening in their life. Hmm. So yeah, maybe they need to make some sort of choice in regards to their finances, or in order to be like in order to be more mature, or like yeah, in order to be more stable. It's like right now they're being forced with like this energy of like having to grow up. It's like they're having to like make certain changes or make certain choices. Um it's like when you're getting older, and you're gaining more responsibilities in life, it's like you have to, your money kind of can mean more to you because you have to like work hard for things for yourself, right? Like as you get older, you become more and more responsible for like more things on your own, and you don't have that support. So then you have to start to make certain choices. Like you have to cut certain things out that you maybe enjoy because you have to be more responsible. Like sometimes you have to, and if you have like a goal to like become more stable or to better yourself or to further yourself in some way, you have to uh, make certain choices, or like you have to cut certain things out and like choose not to participate in certain things. It's like you have to sometimes like budget or just like tighten things up, whereas like when you're younger you can participate in more stuff or like afford more stuff or indulge in more stuff because you have like more support like from your family or just from people around you. Like you don't have as many responsibilities in life. And then as you get older, it's like as you get to a certain age, you're expected to kind of like mature and be in a certain position in life. And so you have to like make certain choices and be more strict and like have more self control over the things that you're involving in or participating in, indulging in, investing in. You have to kind of like pick and choose like what really makes you happy and like what you really want to like spend your time on, because it's like yeah, you have different priorities, so then you have to prioritize, right? Like um so it's like your person is in this energy. It's like they don't want to have to choose. It's like they want to be really indulgent here. So it's like the rubber ducky makes sense because it's like symbolizes the little comforts, or like yeah, it's like the little things that you take along with you on their journey. I'm just hearing like there's like people around them encouraging them to like grow up or to like um make some sort of shift or some sort of change in order to be more mature, or just like in a more secure position in life, or just to like further themselves or better themselves in some way. And so then um it's like there's been a lot of like outside assistance, but now that's going away. Like those people that were there to like help them and assist them are now not there, so they're giving them or like leaving them like some sort of gift to be able to help them, right? Like the rubber ducky symbolizing there's some sort of just like, okay, we're not going to be here to do all this stuff for you or like pay these bills for you or like help you be responsible for yourself in some way, help you take care of yourself in some way. So we're going to do this. And then now this is your responsibility to like grow from this or like build from this or like turn this into something stable for yourself. So then it's like now the pressure, the responsibility is being put on the person on your mind to like make certain lifestyle changes or adjustments, or to just be like more responsible, to make like wiser choices, to just kind of like level up in some way in order to be able to like grow from some sort of like opportunity or like start they're being given. But it's like they have to be the ones to like do it on their own or take the initiative on their own, because they're not going to have some sort of like help or assistance outside of themselves anymore. It's like if they want something, they're going to have to like do it on their own and like yeah, kind of like build their own happiness or like status for themselves. But it's like they're being given some sort of opportunity or like place to grow from, and then it's like up to them to make the right choices to like further themselves along to like get to a certain position in life. Like there's like an expectation being placed on them. um but they're like not wanting to take action. They're not wanting to make the certain choices, or they don't want to cut certain things out. It's like they're being really resistant to um making certain changes or like choices. They just like kind of want to have their cake and eat it too. Like the harsh reality of like what life will be like whenever they don't have this like assistance helping them to like guide them or take care of them or assist them or kind of like catch them, be their safety net in some way. Like the harsh reality of like life is going to kind of like hit them. They're going to realize like they can't afford to indulge in everything they want to indulge in or participate in everything they want to participate in. Like they have to pick and choose, like make wiser choices, kind of like grow up here, be more mature and responsible. And that's something that's very uncomfortable to them right now. Like they just like don't want to do that. They don't want to make that change, or they're resistant to like everything transforming and them being more responsible for themselves. So it's like they're resisting doing the action, or yeah, doing the things that they need to do to put themselves in that position. They're resisting like the actions that they need to take in order to continue to move forward. It's like they don't want this change to happen, or they're like resisting having to be like fully responsible for themselves in some way, even if it's not like a conscious thing. It's like on an energetic level, deep down, they're just really resistant to this. We with what they're doing, we have the Three of Wands. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is where they're at. Like where they're at right now is the Three of Wands. In what they're doing, we have the Wild Hunt. Okay. So, okay, so where they're at right now is like they still kind of have a little bit of help and assistance from others. And they're trying to figure out a way to continue to have that. Like they don't want to have to separate from um, having some sort of outside help or support or like cushion in their life. Like they don't want to be fully independent or like have to fully do things all on their own, or like even like go out and like find a partner, and like like they're really resistant to um losing this like outside support. That it could be like multiple members of their family, or just like their parents or their family in some way. It's just like they're really resistant to like fully separating themselves and like detaching from this. And these people are still like involved somehow, but it's like they're trying to help like set this person up to be able to like go move forward like on their own more independently, and like kind of do things on their own here. But then again, it's like going to be up to then the person on your mind to then be responsible and continue to make the choices so that they can continue to be stable, and they don't want to have to do that. So they're like resistant to letting go of like all of these people around them who've always kind of like had their back, caught them, been their safety net, supported them. It's like they could always rely on this here. So right now it's like these people, it's like they have like maybe one person specifically who's like, okay, so say they have like someone like the family leader, like grandpa, or someone who like really has kind of taking care of everybody for a long time, and this person's trying to kind of like pass along to the person on your mind, and maybe like their siblings or their cousins or like the people around them, like, okay, this is what you do to, this is how I did things to set this up so that we could have this stability, so I could take care of you guys, give you guys such a good life. Like this is what you need to do to be able to do this for yourself, right? Like there's some sort of authority figure above them that's like trying to kind of teach them, guide them, show them, help them kind of like get a start out on their own. But like with all the clown stuff here, it's almost like happening in vain. Like this other person, the person on your mind, maybe goes along with it in order to appease this person or make this like authority figure around them think they're gonna do this, so that they'll like get off their back or whatever. But then it's like they don't actually plan on like doing what this person's saying, because in their mind they're just like, I don't need to go do all that because you already did. And like they've just benefited from this like outside support for so long that they're like really resistant to, but there's someone around them, so like it could be like their parents or like grandparents, or there's like someone around them. Yeah, it could be like a dad or a grandpa or grandma or something that's like, okay, well, this is what I did. Like, this is how I struck out on my own. And, my parents gave me this much money and told me, okay, go make your start. Or my parents helped me, like, do, buy my first vehicle, buy my first whatever. And then, um, that helped me set up or whatever. Like, my parents, helped invest in my first business and da da da. Like, they're somehow trying to be like, okay, this is how I can help you in the same way, for you to kind of follow along and then be able to be this like stable person. But then it's like, it all sounds great and they're all for it until it's the part where it's like, and then you have to like be responsible and upkeep that. Like, say they're like, okay, we'll help you get into your first house, but then you have to like always pay the taxes and take care of it. And pluck the wins. Like, as soon as they start listing off the list of responsibilities of like everything that comes with that, then your person on your mind is just like, okay, I'm obviously not going to do all of that. You know what I mean? Because it's just so much easier to just like live off of like the support that what whoever's like around them that's like always helped them out. It's like that's so much easier. So they're like, okay, I don't need to do that. That yeah, they're like don't want to take certain actions that they need to take, or like maybe it's like, okay, we'll help you get like in your first place by yourself, but then you have to like work for the down payment and do whatever, but then we'll help co-sign for it or whatever. And it's like they don't want to do all that work to do that for some reason. It's like it'd be easier to just let like everyone support them, or yeah, really specific here. So yeah, it's like there's somebody who's like trying to like lead them and guide them and show them the way, but it's kind of like it's all happening in vain because like the person on your mind is, and maybe also like whoever is like with them, like their siblings, cousins, whoever is like also going through this is also just kind of like not taking this advice seriously or really thinking about like actually practically applying this to um they're just kind of like playing games with the other person, right? And like leading them on and making them think that they're like getting somewhere with it, but it's actually just like, yeah, kind of like a game, if you will. They don't really plan on like taking the action that they need to take in order to get there, even if there's going to be like some sort of help and like comfort assistance given. It's like they'd rather just like mooch or like do it the easy way, even if then they're not like out on their own or self-sufficient, then they also don't have to be like responsible for themselves. So it's like they don't want to have to do all that work. So that's where they're at in their own personal life. So we're going to look at now their energy towards you and their thoughts and their feelings towards you. So their energy towards you, we have the Star. So yeah, um you shine really brightly to them. Like they're really drawn to you. They're really attracted to you. They see you as like this really alluring, like mesmerizing. It's like when you're around, it's like the only thing they can see. Like they're very, very drawn to you, attracted to you. They also have really, really high hopes that you two will just like connect. Like if you're not already like in connection or in communication, then they just feel really strongly, intuitively, that you're just gonna like cross paths, or that you'll just like end up connecting in some way, because they just feel like so drawn to you. It's like this energy of like already kind of knowing you, even if they don't, or maybe they felt like that before they met you, if you already have. Um, Also, it's like you are kind of like there's either this energy where they want your whole world to revolve around them, like they want you to like emulate them, or they feel as though their whole world revolves around you in some way. So it's like the only thing that they're focused on, but it's like almost like a distraction. Like it's like the only thing they can focus on. Like whenever you're driving down the highway and someone their headlights are so bright that you literally can't see anything else, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's almost like they're like blinded by your energy. It like takes up. They're like, oh my gosh, it's like all they can see. Um, so with their thoughts with the Two of Wands, yeah. So I'm getting this energy of like you guys aren't in connect. Or if you are in connection, it's like you're not very serious, or you haven't really like fully come together yet, or like you're not like doing life together yet in that sense, because with their thoughts towards you, we have the Two of Wands, and it's like there's like this map here. It's like trying to plan, like it's like trying to put these two different pieces together, right? Like trying to plan out a path, but there's like a break in the path. So it's like this is you and this is them, and then it's like each of you on your path together. It's like how do we connect the two, right? um and there's like a bag, and so it's like this, when they think of you, it's like they're considering or thinking like how are we so something I just heard is like, okay, so with the Three of Wands here with your person, okay, so whoever this person is that's trying to like guide them or give them some sort of advice to be like, okay, this is how you kind of break out on your own and do things on your own here. So that could be why there's the Three of Wands, because okay, that could be like one member of their family, and then there could be another energy in their life, whether it's like someone in their family or just someone that's really close to them that they rely on in some way. There's another party in their life that they also rely on in some way. And so there's like one party in their life being like, oh, do you need to do this and go in this direction? And they're just kind of like, but they're like not going to do that because they have some sort of other support outside of the whole situation that's like connected to them somehow, supporting them. So they're like, okay, I don't actually have to do that. Like there's someone that's kind of like putting a lot of pressure on them, being like, okay, you need to like do this and this and this and make these choices, and like you got to do it this way in order to be like successful or set up. And um they kind of like go along with it to appease that person or to entertain that person, but then there's like some sort of third party in their life, them picking up that is not you. There's like some sort of third party in their life that also supports them or helps them or they rely on in some way, so they feel like they don't have to like do certain things or make certain choices, that like someone else is putting pressure on them to make, right? With the threes, it's like there's another party involved somehow, so it's like could be another part of their family or just like some sort of friends or like someone around them in their community that they can rely on, to where they're like, oh, I don't need to like do the things that you're telling me to do, or I don't need to make those choices or those sacrifices, or I don't need to do all that work, or I don't need to like follow down the same path that you did because I have this like other support. But it's like they're not like voicing that or like arguing, they're just like within themselves, just like resisting. It's like they just know that like they're not going to do whatever this person's saying, or they're not going to like go in that direction. Like they're just, you know what I mean, they just are like, yeah, but they're not like making that clear. They're like entertaining the other person. So then the other person just ends up looking kind of dumb. And then it kind of makes the person on your mind look kind of shady, or kind of like um, it makes them look kind of deceiving, or like in the beginning of the reading, they came across really kind of immature and shady. Like it came across really like, yeah, like they're just being really deceitful. Like they were just being kind of like maybe lazy, or just wanting to rely on like someone else to help them so they didn't have to go out and be independent. Like it was just really negative. But maybe that's how, whatever this one party in their life that's putting all this pressure on them and telling them like, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. Maybe that's the type of energy that this person has, or these people around them are trying to push off on them. But so that's like one light or one way to see them. But it's like, the more that I get into all of this here, I feel as though the reason why they're like this, or the reason why they're like, oh, okay, I don't need to do that or go about it that way or go out, I don't need to do the things you did, is because they feel like if they follow along that with that advice, or they go down that path, then it's going to like lead you further away from this here. So they feel like if they're just like resistant to like making these changes, or like doing these things that are like being put, they're being like pressured on them, and they just kind of like go with their gut, or like go with like trusting in the divine to like get them where they need to be, then they feel like spirit is kind of like leading them towards the thing that they really desire, or like they're most drawn towards you. And so it's like they don't want to like go on this like other path that other people are putting pressure on them. So it's like once you dig deeper into it and you see like more of their side of the story, or like their perspective of like why they don't want to like grow up and mature seemingly for some reason, it's like they do, it's just not in the way that like someone else is trying to pressure them to. It's like they have this, they're trying to figure out, when they think about you, they're trying to figure out how they could like come together with you, or how they could plan for you guys to like go on your journey with the maps. It's like they're on their own journey and you're on your own journey, and they want to figure out how they can merge those two journeys together, instead of like following down this path like someone else is being like, oh, this is what I did, you have to do this too, in order to be like set up for yourself in the future. And they don't want to like they don't want to do all of that on their own and get all set up. And I don't know, there's something where they don't want to like do it the way that like someone else is telling them they have to. Like they want to like figure out a way to like be able to come together with you, and then like you guys um kind of like do it together. Like even if you don't have much, it's like putting what you do have together and just kind of like going out on your journey with the like little bag here in the wands. It's just like working together and persevering forward, right? And so it's like they're trying to think about how they could like plan things, or like merge things to be able to um so I just realized this is actually like a whole map. The more I look at this, I don't know if anyone else noticed that and they were like, that doesn't make sense. But that's just the way I saw it, is like this little bit of a map ripped off, and then this little bit, and then the things. Like that's all I saw. But then now I look at it deeper, I realize this is like a whole map, and that's like a continent or something, like a landmass. But yeah, the message still stands. Like I saw it that way at first for a reason, right? So it's like, yeah, they feel like they're over here and you're over here, and it's like, how do we connect? How did we like plan it all out, right? So like they're, instead of following someone else's advice, or like doing what someone else is telling them they should do in order to like grow up or be more stable or more mature, or like appear a certain status from the outside, they're actively like thinking about and planning like, how could I um like they're trying to follow spirit's guidance here to think like, how could I meet my desires in the middle? Like how can I move myself closer towards the things that I'm really drawn to, the things that I'm really attracted to, the things that I really want? Like they're trying to figure out how they can create the life that they're actually drawn to, and that they actually see themselves in, and they feel like really drawn towards you. Like they feel like you guys would be like a good match, or you have like similar goals or ambitions, or like you want to approach, like you both see moving through life as like going on some sort of journey, or like planning something out, or it's like you both feel like you don't need to have much, but it's like about the adventure or something. Like with the backpack, it's like, yeah, maybe there's something about you to where they feel like they don't need to be this like king of pentacles, like set up, stable, mature like type of person. It's like it's okay if they want to like live out of a backpack and just like explore and travel around, because they feel like you would also like you're also in the same vibe, and so they're trying to figure out like how they could plan and merge to where you guys could like do those sorts of things together, or they just feel like like naturally because you guys have the same interests or because you see life in the same way that the universe or the divine is like naturally going to bring you together in some way, and you can um like move forward from there. So with their feelings, they have we have the Ace of Swords. So this card's all about like someone being able to clearly see like the truth of the situation, or to be able to like decipher um through truth and illusion, and be able to like stand your ground. Um yeah, it's like really clear, cut really clearly through situations here, right? It's like cut through the distortions. So it's like they feel really clearly for you here. Like they know, like when in their they feel really sure that like this is right. Like with this here, with this advice, um, it's like they feel like this is not worth it. They feel like they can kind of see through this, right? So it's like even though there's all these people around them telling them like this is what you have to do, this is how you have to do things, it's like they can kind of see through like the illusion in some way, that like that's not actually going to get them to a place where they're like emotionally fulfilled or like emotionally satisfied. So it's like they can see clearly that like yeah, it's like the things that they want are going to like satisfy them more. They can see like it's like the things that other people are trying to like push on them or encourage them to focus on, it's like they can see that like that stuff is not actually worth it, or that's not what you should like focus on in life. And then they can see that like the type of connection that you guys have, or like the type of philosophy that you guys have about um how life can be, is like they can just see clearly that it's like that would be so much more in alignment with them and work so much better for them and just like make them so much happier. So it's like they're gonna go with what feels right to them. Like they're not gonna let anyone else kind of like lead them or guide them or like make their decisions for them. We also have the comforter. So they feel like uh you're just like this warm, nurturing, like comforting person, and that would be really good for them. Like they feel as though the way that there's someone else around them, the advice that other people are trying to give them as far as like how they need to approach things in order to get to this like stable, secure, mature place in their life. They feel like the type of partner they're going to attract is just going to be like materialistic, or like more cold and rigid, and like only care about money, or only care about like their status and their accomplishments, like be more judgmental. Where they see you as this like really warm, soft, just like this really comforting person. Like if you guys have connected at all, or you do hang out, it's like you make them feel like at ease and at home and comfortable. And so it's like whatever type of life you guys would have together, it's like would be more fulfilling and satisfying. And it's like they can really clearly see that that would be um, just like a more emotionally safe, because you have like a more nurturing energy, um this like homey vibe. Like they would feel like they actually like belong in that life, right? They would feel comfortable. um Whereas like if they do things the way that someone else is telling them to, then they feel as though their whole life is going to be based off of like materialism, or like yeah, more of like a cold, structured, judgmental, like based off of expectations. And so it's like um they can just see really clearly through the illusion of that. It's like if you don't have like someone who really values you for you, and someone that you can be like really emotionally vulnerable with, like safe to be open and be yourself with, then what do you really have at the end of the day? Like it doesn't matter if you have all this like nice stuff to show for it, right? So it's like they don't want to like go down the same path or like take someone else's advice. And so there's some sort of other like help around them or assistance around them that they're like relying on. So and then they're like trusting in the divine to like lead them towards like you, or they're trying to figure out how they can like merge towards having like a stability with you instead of like doing it in the way that someone else is telling them to. Like they feel like um yeah, if you guys were to like live together, that you it would be like really, it would feel like home, or it would be really homey, or you would be really comforting to them, or there's something about your energy that they're really drawn to. um they just feel like it would make them feel really good. So it's like they can see really clearly what they want here. um so it's like they don't want to make all these other choices, they just want to make, or they want to not make any choices at all, and just stay in this like resistant energy, and then just like trust in the divine to kind of like step in and like bring you guys together, like lead you in the right direction, because they're just like trusting to put their intention out there basically, and have the divine kind of like give you guys this like fresh start together or something, or this like foundation to like plan and like build from. um Ooh, home. How cool. Yeah, like they really they feel like you would literally, and then we have divine timing. The divine, it's like this is saying trust that everything will unfold in divine timing here, which is exactly how they feel. Like they feel like you guys are just going to be like led together in some way. Like spirit will just like intervene. But they, when they think of you, they really feel as though you would just like feel like home, or like be similar to like your energy is like comforting in a similar way too. Makes them feel like home in some way. That's such a cool thing. What's up, truth? I love when this card comes out. And safe travel. Wow, okay. So that was so interesting how at the beginning of the reading, I really feel like I was reading through whoever these people around them that are trying to kind of like guide them or lead them here, direct them, or like help set them up in some way, or be like, oh, this is what I did, this is what you can do. um the beginning of the reading, I really feel like I was reading through that person's lens, or like that person's perspective, and how they view your person. So it's coming across like your person just like really didn't care about their future, or like want to do anything, or they just like were wanting to be like dependent on others, or take the easy route, or it's like they didn't want to have to make some sort of choices in order to be responsible for themselves or take care of themselves. Like, man, that was crazy. But I just, yeah, now that it's all wrapped around, I don't, that's really interesting how, so yeah, I think that was cool. Like then you can really see firsthand what your person is going through, like what the person on your mind is going through with that, like um the perspective of, you know, the people around them, the energy, like the people that are giving them advice and kind of inundating them with like, this is what you have to do, this is how you have to live your life, this is the way you have to do things. Yeah, I can help give you that perspective so you can kind of see like what they're dealing with, or what they're going with here, going through here. And then they're still, it's like no matter what, it's like they have this, they feel like so sure and they so hopeful. They have such a strong intention to like merge their life with yours, or to like end up going in the direction that will lead them towards being able to like be in your energy. And so it's like, yeah, it's like once you get their perspective or their side of the story, it's actually really cool. So it's unfortunate that there's like other people around them that are like perceiving them in such a like negative light, kind of. Because I actually feel like this one turned out to be really positive. So just wanted to add that in there, for everyone who didn't just like click out right away, because that was a lot at first, right? But okay. Home. You are being guided to come back home to who you truly are. Drawing this card can signal a change in your physical home or sense of where you belong. Pulling this card also symbolizes that wherever or whatever your current situation, you can trust that this moment is in alignment with your higher self. You have not lost your way. You are, in fact, right on time and right on track. Meditate on this symbol to access your higher power when having to make important decisions. You can always orient yourself north to the morning star and be assured that you will make the decision that is in alignment with your highest good. Oh my gosh, and their energy towards you is the star. So that's literally what they're trying to do. Like they're trusting in like divine timing to like bring things together. And so they're just trying to stay in this like resistant energy, or just like not act, or like not make any solid moves, or they're just resisting any sort of like big changes, or like getting themselves in any sort of like big commitments around them, because they feel like that's the best way to keep themselves open for the divine to like make its moves here and like intervene and like help guide them. So that's really cool. And then we also, um this was right underneath it, so I'm also going to read that because it's a similar, really similar. Divine timing is everything. You are not stuck or heading in the wrong direction. Drawing the hourglass asks you to have patience with whatever your current situation is. All will come to pass when the moment is just right. This card also indicates that something you are waiting for is just on the horizon. So, yeah, I feel like both of these have a really similar. Um, I really like what the whatever or wherever your current situation, you can trust that this moment is in alignment with your higher self. You have not lost your way. You are, in fact, right on time and right on track. Right? Everything is happening in the exact timing that we need to be our most successful. Right? So that's the bottom of the deck energy. A great truth will come to light. A secret will be revealed. Your feelings regarding the situation you are asking about are true. Stand by your personal truth no matter what, and you will be rewarded. This is a time to let your authentic self shine. You have much to express. Your voice is needed. Meditate on this when you want more authenticity in your life or want clarity regarding a person or situation. We have safe travel. A trip, a journey, or even a simple change of scenery is upon you. Meditate on this before you start a new adventure, move to a new home, or take a trip. So, yeah, there may be some big shifts happening for this pile because we have two um, cards talking about like moving or traveling to like coming back home, right? Um, Taking a trip, going somewhere. So, very interesting. That could be like this other person's intentions, like they don't want to like follow the advice around them being given to them and like get themselves set up on their own, because it's like they want to be able to like build like home or a foundation like with you, right? Like they have that intention. or they view you or they see you as like being so comforting or like so like home. So it's like they don't want to like do it all on their own or something. Yeah, like taking this other person's advice would make it to where it's like it like takes them away from like their intention, or yeah, it like puts them in a position of just being like overly independent or like having to do everything on their own. So then it makes it harder to be able to like integrate having you in their life, and they see you as like so associated to like home. They really see you as like a part of their life in some way. Like they're really drawn towards your energy, and they feel like you would just be this really like nurturing, caring like person, this really like solid person to have around, right? They just feel like you like shine so much, and you would bring like so much to like a home setting to just like really make it a home, like that magic touch, right? So they're trying to plan out like how could we like do it together. Distorted view, perspective. A change in perspective is needed to view you or the situation with compassion. The root core of pain is often associated with how you may view yourself or the situation from a wounded place. Choosing to heal this brings the broken pieces back together to create a healthy viewpoint. So, totally, just like in the beginning, I was picking up on this, like the lens or the perspective that I was getting the reading from was very judgmental, and I'm not saying that to say like maybe that's even how you viewed the situation, or and so I'm not trying to be like, oh my gosh, you're judgmental, like I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to be like offensive or in any way, but sometimes you could, something around you or some sort of experience in your life could create you to have this sort of perspective. If those are the actions that you're seeing on the surface from this person, then there could be some sort of reason why you then have this perspective overall, right? Um, so yeah, it's like choosing to look at the situation from a more compassionate place, and being more open to see like all the whole spectrum of like what could really be going on here. Family but dynamic. Reconcile. Your family is requiring a time to heal issues that have created a wedge or unrest. We all need support as we move forward, and having an open, loving family unit is essential. Yeah, your person could be kind of going through that too. Okay, that's all I have for pile one. All right, so pile two is this like clear gem, this picture or this card here. We're looking at the person on your mind. So it's the person on your mind, where they're at, they're doing. Their energy towards you. Their thoughts. And their feelings. We have the 8. I think this is the 8 of Wands. The bottom of the deck here. So this card, I always get this energy of like moving up or leveling up or like growing. And then we have the Magician underneath. It's like it's like I'm picking up this energy of like releasing something. Releasing something that they've been like keeping down inside or keeping buried inside for a long time, letting go of something they were hanging on to or they were attached to, like something they could have been haunted by, could have been like a really, really old relationship or something from their past that they were like hanging on to emotionally that hasn't been serving them for a long time. It's like causing them to like be stagnant or not be able to move forward. And now they're finally releasing this. And so they can finally like move forward or grow or like ascend in some way now that they don't have something like holding them back or holding them down or like something weighing them down inside. It's like it's finally speaking their truth or like letting something out in some way, and so they're able to move on or grow past something, right? Finally being able to rise above something, so it's like they finally acknowledged it or spoke on it or got it out there in some way. Yeah, because we have for the person on your mind, we have the storyteller. Literally, when they're like opening their jacket. So it's like someone who chose to open up, and then we have the boogeyman too. So it's like someone who, okay, so it's like they had the person on your mind had something that was like haunting them. They had some sort of demons. They had something that was really bothering them and weighing them down for a long time. Like this has been long dead, an issue that was long, should have been long resolved. It was a long time ago, but it's been just like weighing them down or looming over them, surrounding them. It's like they were not able to move forward and let go of this somehow. They're finally able to like speak their truth. It's like they were finally able to open up about this or to like show someone or to reveal to someone like what was really going on here, like they were able to explain it. So this could be like they could have went and talked to a therapist or like they're finally open up to someone around them in their life. In some way it's like they finally told their story, like they finally so now they're able to like move past this, rise above this, like they're finally able to like grow and move forward in some way that they were really held back or held down. It's like they finally opened up to someone and told someone the truth of something that they were going through. It could have been some sort of fear or anxiety with the boogeyman here. It's like, yeah, there could have been something that they were afraid of or some sort of like experience that they went through that left them with this like this overwhelming fear or trauma of like being vulnerable or like with the boogeyman, you get this energy of like being afraid to go out in the dark because you're scared that something's like going to get you. So I'm translating that to like being afraid to be emotionally vulnerable and open to others because you're scared that you're going to get hurt again in the same way that you did in the past. Like you're scared that there's going to be some sort of unknown or unseen, like unforeseen element or force around you in the darkness, that's going to get you like right whenever you're vulnerable, because it's like hanging on to some sort of trauma or pain or something that happened like a long time ago in a relationship, could have been romantic at some point, and so that was like haunting them, like the ghost of like whatever happened here could have been multiple things. It was like stuck with them and like weighing them down, like preventing them from being able to grow and move forward and like rise above in some way in their life, or like preventing them from being able to like level up in their relationships, just preventing them from being able to move on in some way. They were like hanging on to, like, maybe those people that hurt them have like totally grown and changed and they're like completely different people now, but they were hanging on to like the um that version of who those people were and like how things went down or how they were hurt, or like whoever, whatever their intentions were at that time when they were so hurt. It's like they're hanging on to like that idea of who those people are, and it was like weighing them down for a long time. In some way they weren't able to like move forward. So then it was like it that um energetically hanging on to that, or like, yeah, choosing to stay stuck there in some way, then it's like created demons for themselves. Like then those demons that other people were fighting with at the time that they hurt them then got translated inside of them, and it became their own personal demons, right? And then it's like they were afraid to be alone or to be vulnerable, because then they were afraid that like these energies that they struggled with within themselves, like their inner demons, would then come and like get them. So it's like whenever you're afraid to be alone, it's like you stay stuck in, when you're uncomfortable with like with yourself, right? It's like you stay stuck in these really codependent, like you'll stay in a relationship just because you're like codependent. But it's like now, so sometimes you can stay stuck in relationships or in cycles that aren't really good for you and don't help us to move forward, but there's a lot of codependency, and so we feel safe. Like we don't have to be alone or like vulnerable in some way. And we can have that like company. So that was like keeping them stuck in lower level cycles and preventing them from being able to like rise and grow and ascend further in their life. But it's like now they finally found some way to like open up or to share their truth in some way here, or to like speak their truth. And then like now that they're speaking on it or acknowledging this in some way, it's like these fears or these demons like no longer have the same power over them or the same hold over them. Like now that they found a way to like let someone in, or like let someone see like what was going on here. It's like even if it was like they only showed like one side or one half of it or a little bit or just the first part of the story, it's like they started to open up in some way, and so now they're starting to see like the things that they considered to be like their demons or like their struggles in like a different light. It's like, so it doesn't have the same hold over them or like the same power over them that it did before in some way. So that's really cool. So yeah, we have the 8 here and the 8 of Pentacles for where they're at. And then the Knight of Cups for what they're doing. So they could be working really, really hard here to like overcome this stuff and like overcome these things that they once considered to be like their struggles or their demons, right? Because they have the intention. It's like they want to be able to come forward and make a really solid, genuine emotional offer to someone without that baggage, right? They want to be able to like release it and let it go so that they can come forward and make some sort of emotional offer to someone and make like a true long-term investment here. It's like putting in the work to go about something in the right way. So it's like they know they have to like release certain things or like let go of certain things. So it's like they push themselves to like find a way to open up here. So again, it's like they could have went to like therapy or went and seen some sort of counselor, because it's like they want to be able to come forward and like offer some sort of like solid emotional offer, like they want to be able to move towards, their intention right now is to be able to move towards being able to be in a emotionally committed, emotionally stable relationship. And they know that that takes being able to be vulnerable. So it's like they're putting in the work to be able to come out the other side of this and do that and like offer that long-term stability. And it's like putting in the work to be able to um yeah, have something more stable and genuine, right? So that's like their intentions is like why they're doing all this stuff here. It's like coming from a really good place. Um They want to be able to put themselves out there emotionally again. So it's like they're starting to figure out like how they can like talk through this stuff and work through this stuff and like open it up and like get it off their chest here. Or it's like maybe yeah, they're like writing it down, jotting it down. Um just figuring out how to like start expressing themselves again, so they can be like emotionally vulnerable with another person. So it's like, again, it's like they have the intention to try to put themselves out there again in some way and like have something stable and long term in their life again. It's like trusting that um, they could have something like genuine if they have genuine intentions or make a genuine offer. Or it's like if they put in the work to do something the right way, that like it could work out. Um, so it's like they just need to be able to release like their own like inner demon so that that's not like affecting the way that they're moving forward and like presenting themselves or making an offer here, right? They don't want to like project that. They want to have like pure intentions moving forward. So yeah, maybe in the past they were kind of projecting like the pain or the hurt that they had been through, so that was preventing them from being able to like rise above it in some way. So it's like now they want to move forward with this really pure emotional energy here and not from like a wounded place. Yeah, their energy towards you, we have King of Subjugation in reverse. So with this card, it's all like, because you can see here, there's this energy of feeling like stuck or feeling like um, you're kind of like caught up in something, right? Like even though the person who's like in charge and has all the power and is kind of like delegating everything around, like that is a lot of power, but it's also a lot of responsibility and it kind of like weighs you down here. So you don't have a lot of freedom. So it's like um I'm getting it's like they want to make themselves unstuck here in some way so that they can like move forward towards you completely free of like any past attachments or like anything that they were like stuck in or hung up on or like still carrying with them like from the past or like this baggage here. It's like they want to completely free themselves from everything outside of themselves to be able to like come forward towards you like with no attachments to the past at all, to like really be able to actually like get somewhere here, right? And like grow and like level up in the relationship. It's they have to like to be able to come towards you, they have to like release like all their burdens or like everything that is like weighing them down and keeping them stuck from being able to like grab hold of something new, right? um yeah, with like the situations in the past, they may have been like more in control of the situation, but it was also like made them stuck in their life in some way. So now they're realizing that it's like releasing control is like a more pure way to like move forward or to pursue or to try and take hold of something in your life or to try and have something like stick around in your life. It's like you have to release like the control over it, because that will just kind of like weigh you down or prevent you from being able to like grow and have a more genuine like love and connection. Yeah, their thoughts towards you. We have the devil. So it's this is like this devil card is all about like the choices that we make that end up kind of hurting ourselves or yeah, it's like how we kind of keep ourselves caught in cycles of self-sabotage here. So it's like um yeah, they don't want to um, make choices that, or yeah, they don't want to focus on things that keep them in a position of like being hurt or being stuck, or they don't want to continue to make choices that prevent them from being able to move forward and just end up keeping them um, stuck in like the pain of the past or like whatever happened in the past. It's like they may have been making choices that were continuing to hurt them like in those same ways by like pushing people away or not, yeah, not like they were hanging on to the past in some way, and so then it was like keeping them kind of like stuck in that place of like the pain that they felt when they went through that, rather than being able to move forward and like grow and experience new like connections and stuff. And so they want to come out of this and be able to like not self-sabotage anymore. They feel like connecting with you would be like really healing for them. Um, and so they don't want to like make any choices that would like sabotage the relationship, because then they just end up hurting themselves and like isolating themselves or making themselves alone, which is like also what happened in the past. Is like they ended up alone. So then it's like they're constantly like self-sabotaging, so they end up back in that same like hurt or place that they were in at that time. So they don't want to do that anymore. They realize that like hurting this or like doing sabotaging this or doing anything unpure here in the relationship would just end up sabotaging themselves or hurting themselves, isolating themselves. If they were to hurt you, they would just end up hurting themselves like in the long run, right? So yeah, they don't want to do, they want to like come out of that. Their feelings, we have the Six of Cups, and with this card I always get such a like, they're very attracted to you, like they're very sexually attracted to you, like they really desire you here, like crave you. They feel really strongly passionate towards you. Also with the Six of Cups, it's like they feel this like childlike innocent love for you, like maybe whatever happened in the past when they got really hurt, like if that was like when they were younger or like their first love or something like that, then it's like the feelings they have for you reawaken that like childlike, innocent, like playful part of them, where they just want to like have fun and enjoy you and just like play together. But then it also triggers those memories of like how that was kind of shitty, or like how they got kind of like rained on in certain ways in that relationship, like how they were just trying to like have a fun time and enjoy that person, and then they like their parade got kind of rained on in some way. So it's like it triggers like a lot of different feelings, because it's like maybe they haven't felt this passionate towards someone, or they haven't felt these types of feelings towards someone since they were younger, or like since the past in some way. So yeah, they feel like this relationship is like a good opportunity to be able to move forward or to move past something that happened in the past in some way. Or yeah, they have like, it's like the first time that they've like really felt in a like an emotional affinity for someone in the same ways, like since they were younger or something. Yeah, they just want to like have fun with you, play with you. um then we have the Queen of Bombs in reverse, clarifying that. So it's like, again, it triggers the feelings they have for you, trigger like something that they went through in the past that was like really traumatic and hurtful for them. It's like it also makes them think about like how much fun they had in the past, and then how it like all came crashing down, or like how much they enjoyed like some relationship they had in the past, and then they got really really hurt here. But then it's like they feel as though you're not going to hurt them in the same way, or they feel as though like even though they do get like kind of triggered here, it's like they feel like you're not going to get set off, or you're not going to set them off in the same way. Yeah, they feel like you're not like as explosive as someone else, or it's like they try to remind themselves like, I'm not necessarily going to get hurt by this person in the same way that I was hurt in the past. even though it's like they do feel so strongly for you that it like triggers something about how they felt in the past, they try to be like, okay, this is not the same thing. I'm not necessarily going to experience like the same trauma or the same, maybe in the past it was like this emotional upheaval like all at once, or the person they were with was like really emotionally unstable, or it was like all going so good and then all of a sudden it like all imploded or like all blew up like all at once. And so they have this kind of like anxiety that if they let themselves get too comfortable or like too playful or too in the moment, or just like um yeah, just like enjoy this too much, then it's all going to come crashing down at once. And they try and remind themselves, like, this isn't the same thing as that was. Like, even though it triggers some of those similar feelings I had, it's like it doesn't necessarily have to turn out the same way. I won't necessarily go through like the same sudden like upheaval or like traumatic experience. It's not necessarily going to leave me in the same like shocked and disheveled state. Um, that I was left in last time. Like they feel like this is a chance to be able to like grow and move past or move forward from some like pain and trauma that they've went through in the past that they felt really held down by for like a really really long time. But then again, it's like now that they figured out how to kind of like open up and tell their story in some way, then they no longer feel like their past is like the boogeyman. Like they no longer have to feel scared or haunted by like what they went through here. Like they, yeah, they can grow and move forward and like put themselves out there again and like trust, um, yeah, that like love is not going to hurt them in the same way again. And then that's like helping them to grow and evolve and elevate past some level that they've been kind of like stuck in their life for a while now. Let me get one of these. Oops. Oh, we have new beginnings. We also have the doing draw. I don't want to like show this whole card or like say that. So yeah, I feel like in the past they could have been stuck in like some really really unhealthy cycles that were just kind of like keeping them down. But they feel as though this is like a chance to have a new beginning to help like spring them into a new life, or like really help them grow and ascend past like where they were stuck for so long. It's like a new hope or like a chance, something new to like work towards or be like excited about. And it's like helping to like heal and overcome some sort of pain they have went through in the past. Ooh, and game over. So, yeah, I feel like whatever they went through in the past, it felt like this. It felt like game over. Like for years and years and years, they were just like stuck in this place. They had the hardest time like releasing this and letting this go. But like now that they've found a way to like talk about it or like open up about it, let someone in, Yeah, now that they found a way to like share their story in some way, it's like they see everything in a different light. They're realizing like this isn't like the boogeyman here. Like they're realizing that it is possible to like release this and let this go and like rise above this, right? And overcome this. So it won for a long time. They felt like there was no coming back from this. Like if they got their heart broke, they just felt like they would never love again, or um there was like no chance for them to experience like the same type of happiness. They just felt like some part of the experience of that in life for them was like over. But now they feel as though they can like release themselves and free themselves from whatever they were like held down by and connected to in the past, and they don't have to continue to like self-sabotage, and they feel like they can have um something really special that they really care about with you, and it isn't necessarily all going to pop off or go down in the same way that it did in the past, or they're not going to get hurt in the same ways that they did in the past. And so there's like this opportunity or this chance to grow here, like I keep saying, like grow beyond, ascend above, manifest more in their life, like have a new start. It's like be happier than they could have imagined, like actually experience like, yeah, like levels of love that they could have never imagined here, like have a family, have all the things. Whereas like at one time they were like, oh, like that's never going to happen for me now, or yeah, now they have like all this hope here with you. It's like they want to release what everything they were stuck to, everything that was weighing them down and holding them back, and um yeah, like all the little web of like connections that were just like keeping them stuck in the past and feeling like they could never like heal and grow and um care about something like in the same ways. Like now they want to let go of all of that and release that, and not give that so much power. It's like they realize that the only reason that became their demons, or the reason that they had this like boogeyman energy following them around, is because they gave so much power to it. So they're realizing they just have to like release it and let it go, and then it doesn't hold any power over them. They don't have anything to be afraid of. Like they can be free to move forward and grow and like experience new and exciting levels of like love in their life again and connection. Abundance, security. Money is energy like anything else. You want it to flow and not feel trapped. Trusting that the universe will take care of you gives off the energy of abundance and expectancy in every dollar you receive, knowing that you are supportive and the money will flow. That's always good advice. Your soul longs to joyfully serve. Being of service is a huge calling that is honorable and satisfying. How are you being called to serve humanity? Serve with grace and humility to assist those that cannot help themselves. Be an advocate, a confidant, and an inspiration along the way. So we're going to get one card from here to know something they would say to you. I need time and space to heal. So that's the bottom of the deck. So that's how they could have felt like in the past, or this could have been their mindset for a long time, or like they could have been burdened for a long time. So um, it's like they just continued to tell themselves like, oh, it's just going to take time. Like I just need to give myself some space. And then one day they woke up and realized like I've given this so much power over myself. Like this has been literally weighing me down for so long. And they realized like maybe they don't need any more space. And we also have I am awakening to the importance of our connection underneath that. So it's like, yeah, now they're starting to realize like maybe I actually need connection instead of space. I have a hard shell, but you have come closer than anyone else. There is something special about you. So yeah, they this could have been their energy for a really long time, but yeah, there's something special about you. Like you've triggered them to want to free themselves here from whatever was holding them back or whatever they were stuck in. It's like they want to make a change here. They could have been really stubborn for a really long time and really resisted it, though, right? But it's like they don't want to self sabotage. Wow, that's how bad they don't want to do it. They want to chuck it out, get rid of it. Anything that's bad for them or hurting them, throw it out. But yeah, it's like they don't want to self sabotage anymore. Now they're like starting to understand that maybe they can really care about someone in the same way and have the same type of a connection with someone and not get hurt in the same way, right? Be different this time. So it's like helping them to heal their perspective. So yeah, that's all I have for pile 2. Okay, pile 3 was this little star. And then this card. We're looking into the person on your mind. So we have the person on your mind. Where they're at. What they're doing. Their energy towards you. Their thoughts. And their feelings. Ooh, we have the Five of Mirrors on the bottom and Justice. And the Eight of Discs. So with the Five of Mirrors, it's like the mirrors are kind of like these illusions. So with mirrors, it's like the image that they're giving back to us sometimes isn't the truth. And oftentimes it's like it can be a distortion of reality, right? And oftentimes it's projecting back the image that we want to see, rather than like an accurate picture. So sometimes we kind of hide the truth of things behind the image that we're projecting out and that we want others to see. And this works for so long, but then if there's a break or a crack in the mirror or the like exterior image that we're projecting out there to others, then it reveals, any crack or break in that image reveals or gives insight to what's buried underneath that we're trying to hide or trying to distort or get people to not see or to not look at in some way. So, yeah, it's like your person was trying to project some sort of image here. And then with the justice, it's like not quite straight, right? So there was some sort of false sense of justice going on here. It's like they were really, really overwhelmed here and overburdened. It's like they couldn't keep up with, okay, they could have had like more debt than they could keep up with, or there was something going on here, like they had something looming over them that was like too heavy for them to carry. Um, Something was like overly burdening them, so like they couldn't keep up with the demand of like a job that they had or some sort of debts or something that they were invested in was like weighing them down. They couldn't keep up with it in some way. Um, so it like wasn't really working out here, but they were like refusing to acknowledge that with the Five of Mirrors. It's like they were trying to present this image that they had it like all taken care of, or like it was all dialed in, or like everything was, they like, okay, say they were in like all this debt and it was like weighing them down and burdening them, they couldn't move forward. They were like just projecting this image that like their life was so good, they had all this stuff, it was so great. Or like say this job was like overly demanding, they couldn't keep up with it. They were like projecting out this image that was like they loved their job, it was like the best job ever, like they were so well taken care of, like their life was, they were just like in some way they were upholding this image that like their life was so good, it was so perfect, like they were tactfully projecting this image to the outside, and they didn't want people to be able to see some way where they were like overly burdened here or weighed down, or they weren't able to keep up with something. um Something was like not working out right. And there was a huge imbalance. So there could have been an imbalance in their finances, or just an imbalance in like their work life to play, like their relaxation, their downtime, like they were overburdened, overworked. So like maybe they had like all this stuff, their life seemed so great, but little do they know their people around them know they're actually being like overworked, and it's like not actually working for them. It's like weighing them down, or it's like um they're not able to keep up with the demand or the work schedule in some way. So it's like it's actually falling apart. There's some sort of huge imbalance that like people couldn't see at first because there was this image being projected that it was all good, it was all perfect. It's like the perfectly curated or manicured image presented this idea that like everything was perfect, there was no worries. When in all reality it was like falling apart, not working out. They couldn't make their payments, they couldn't keep up with some sort of demand, like they were weighed down in some way. They were not able to actually move forward because of some sort of burden that was like weighing them down, putting their whole life out of balance. And now there's like some sort of crack in the exterior or some sort of whatever they image they were trying to project out to others. People are starting to see through that. People are starting to see what's really going on and like how this is not actually working out for them. People are starting to see whatever they were trying to hide here and cover up about their life or their circumstances. It's like being the exterior image that they were showing others or like getting others to buy into before. The perfectly curated manicured image is like cracking here, and people are starting to see like they're starting to see like it's starting to fall apart, or they're starting to see the flaws here, or how this person's actually weighed down, or how this is actually really imbalanced in some way, or people are starting to see how this is actually not working. They're starting to see how this person can't keep up with this here. It's like the whole thing is like now on flames, right? Or people are starting to see how something is like overrun here, or it's like not keeping up with the demand. It's like they can no longer present a false image here to the public. The narrative they were using is not working here. People are seeing past. People no longer like are distracted by like how beautiful like the lipstick is. They care about uh, what's being said, right? It's like before they may have been so like other people were so caught up in like this image that they had or that they were presenting that they couldn't see like what was really going on a deeper level with this person. They could have been really heartbroken or like burdened emotionally, but they were putting out this like perfect image, like their life was so great and they had it all together. And now people are starting to see um, how hurt they actually are, how broken they actually are, how weighed down they actually are in some ways. Like some sort of pain that they were trying to hide with like a certain image on the outside is like being revealed here. It's like everything they had like stored deep down is like starting to come out here or be shown or reflected on the outside. It's like people can see like whatever they're dealing with on like a deeper level now. So they can't just like keep it together or like hide it. So that's the bottom of the deck. And then for your person, we have the lone and level sands. So, what I'm getting from this is like they're trying to, right now, they're like isolating themselves in order to regain a balance. Because it's like something, um, yeah, like everyone is kind of seeing through them here, or like people are starting to see how out of balance things are, or like maybe everything is starting to kind of get worse, or like it was all kind of teetering and they were kind of making it work. And now it's like all kind of slung out of balance. Things are on fire. It's like all kind of popping off here. So they're trying to like isolate in order to deal with this, like away from people, because it's like now they know that they can't just like present a certain image and like hide from people. Like people can see like what's going on with them, or like what's like deeper here, like whatever they're trying to hide from others, like people can see here. So that's no longer working for them, so they're just kind of like isolating, like they're staying away from everyone in order to level until everything like levels out again. Like they're trying to regain a balance here in some way. It's like they don't want others to be able to see like what's going on with them. It's like they're trying to isolate because they know that like other people can kind of like see through them or something here. So where they're at, we have the Queen of Swords. And what they're doing, we have the Five of Cups. So what I'm getting from this is they could be really, really hurt here as far as like they could have a lot of regret or like whatever really heartbreaking situation that they went through or whatever pain they're carrying inside of them that's like burdening them and weighing them down that they don't want anyone else to be able to see here. Um, they could carry a lot of like regret with this here. They do look at the situation and wish that there's certain things they could do differently or that they could change certain things, but it's like there's nothing they can really do about it. Um, and so they just have to kind of like go with what they still have or like just kind of move forward. And so yeah, they're choosing to it's like even though other people can kind of see like through their exterior that they're putting up, they're still choosing to just kind of isolate themselves and like um not like sulk in their feels. Like even though they do have certain regrets or they are going through certain like overwhelming emotions, if you will, it's like they're choosing not to focus on that. It's like they want to focus on like being able to move forward. They're trying to use like logic to make certain judgments or like decisions in their life in order to like better their circumstances or like change their circumstances and still be able to move forward with what they have instead of like focusing on what they lost, even though they still feel um, really emotionally burdened or like weighed down by like whatever they lost or whatever didn't work out here. It's like they don't want to focus on that. They want to use like their logic and their reasoning to find a way to like move forward with what they still have to work with or like what they still feel like passionate towards or something. So they're just trying to isolate themselves away from others and try to find a way to like logically resource themselves forward um, with like what they still have in their life or the materials they still have like available to them. It's like they'll cut out whatever is like emotionally burdening them here in order to um like move into the next phase. That's like their intention. But it's like other people are kind of starting to see through them to see like how much this is actually like weighing them down and like preventing them from being able to move forward. So it's like they don't want to go around others. It's like they want to just like isolate themselves and be alone right now because it's like other people can kind of like see through them. That there still is a lot here that they is like hurting them or like there is a lot here that like they do still like have feelings towards like regrets or just things that like they're still hung up on emotionally, but it's like they don't want to acknowledge that, like they don't want to sit and like sulk in their feelings. They'd rather like use logic to just like move forward in some way. But there's like other people around them that like see through them and see like how hurt they really are. So it's like they want to isolate away from those people so like no one can like see what's going on with them. And then they can just do whatever they think is like gonna help them like move forward in the most logical and practical way. Um hmm. Their energy towards you. We have the awakening, illumination, hope in reverse. So yeah, they don't have a lot of hope or they just don't feel as though this situation is going to like come back around or like come back into their life in some way. So they feel like they need to move forward and like leave you behind in some way, or they don't feel like they're being guided back towards you or they're purposely trying to shut off like their intuition and like that kind of like connection they have towards you, and like go in another direction with like what they have here. It's like cut off their feelings and just go with like their logic, and their logic is telling them to focus on like what they still have in their life. But there's certain people around them that can like see through them and see how hurt they really are here, and see like everything they're trying to hide. So it's like they feel like they have to isolate themselves. um but yeah, they don't feel super like hopeful when it comes to you, or they don't feel like they're being drawn um back towards the situation, or that the spirit would like support them if they were to, or something. um so their thoughts towards you, we have the builder. So it's like they're trying to do something new. They're trying to like go out on a journey and like use, like with these two cups here, it's like use what they still have, or like what's still available to them, or use like what's left to like create something new. Like they're trying to build something new for themselves and not be like attached to like whatever happened here, right? Like yeah, they're pushing, cutting out their feelings and going with their logic, and their logic is telling them they could like um instead of like coming back towards you, or being led back towards you, or reconnecting with you in some way, or having hope that you guys could like mend or fix things in some way. It's like they just want to like build something new or different. They feel as though they have the tools still accessible around them in some way, or they have some sort of knowledge available to them to be able to like start new, or build something new, or start on like a new project, which is like a different, like a new person in the sense, right? Like a new situation. So they feel like they just need to isolate away from like other people who can kind of like see through them and see how hurt they are still by the situation with you, so that they can like have the freedom to like start over again and like build something new without people like projecting or judging like what they're doing based off of what they went through in the past. It's like they don't want people to be able to see like how hurt they still are, so they want to like build something new and fresh here. um and their feelings towards you, we have the masterless knight. So it's like they don't want anyone to know how they feel. They don't want you to know, or like with this card, it's like you're not supposed to know the answer. But I'm getting that it's like they don't want anyone else. That's why they're kind of like hiding and retreating away from people who can like see through them, or people that know them really well, or like people that can tell whenever they're just like putting on like a certain image, or like projecting a certain image, and they're actually like really bothered or really hurt deep down. They don't want anyone to know like how hurt they really are, or like what they're really going through, or how they really feel. They don't want you to really know. They just want to like move forward and start something new, like start building in a new direction, and just put up like this image that um they're like all good here. um so yeah, they're just choosing to go with their logic. Like their logical brain is telling them cut out the feelings that you have for this, and just like move forward and build with what you still have. And so it's like they have to isolate themselves away from people who can see through them, or like people that know the real them, or like what's really going on with them like on a deeper level, because they don't want to be around anyone that can like see them, see through them, like see, yeah, like how they really feel. They want to be able to like present this certain image, and then not have anyone like question them, or be like, are you okay, like are you sure you're all right, like are you sure that, you know what I mean? Like they just want to like move forward here the way that they feel like they need to, or like do what they feel like they need to, without anyone like holding them down or holding them back, so they feel like they need to like isolate away from others in some way. They don't want anyone to be able to like see them and like what's really going on with them or like how they really feel about whatever happened between you guys, like whatever heartbreak. It's like they don't want anyone to see that, to have any sort of insight with that, which is really interesting. When I listen to music, I feel you're speaking to me through the lyrics. I feel everything you felt. The time wasn't right for us to make this work. So, with that, I feel like they just want to tell themselves, like, that's maybe what they're trying to tell themselves. Like, they're maybe just like, oh, it just wasn't the right time for us to make this work. And then, like, they're just trying to tell themselves some sort of story to like appease themselves or make themselves feel better about it. But it's like people around them can see through that or see that it's like, okay, you're not just like content with just telling yourself that. Like, there's obviously more going on here. You're obviously still really bothered by this and really hurt, really devastated, really heartbroken by this. So it's obviously not genuine, like this, like nonchalant, like, oh, I don't care about this. Like, there's obviously more going on. Like, you have to like have some sort of feelings here, but they're just really trying to present this, like, you know those songs that are like, oh honey, put on some lipstick and um, you know, pretend like you're all good. Like, they're really trying to like just put out that image to the world that like they're so like, you know, well taken care of and just like not affected by what's going on. Attracting. Ooh. So burning evidence and keeping you a secret. So totally. If they're like not over this in some ways, or there's ways where they still hang on to things, it's like they're trying to hide this. Right? They're trying to get rid of any sort of evidence of anyone to be able to see like how they really feel or what's going on. So if they do have times where they get in their emotions or they get in their feels, it's like when they're totally by themselves, when nobody else is around to see like what's really going on here. That's like the only time they feel safe to, like, when they're around others, they put up the Queen of Swords type of energy. Like, they're just like unbothered, unaffected, like almost cold about the situation. Like, they just seem like they don't care. Like, they're super rigid, cutthroat. um they're trying to put on this image that it's like, yeah, that didn't work out, but I still have this going for me, and so I'm still going in this direction, and I'm like really motivated and fired up and passionate about this, so I don't even care about like what didn't work out, like who's going to cry over spilled milk. Like, they're trying to come across to others like they just literally don't care about this at all, and they're just completely unbothered and unaffected, to the point where other people around them are like, you good? Like, you sure you're good? Like, other people are like, oh no, like you obviously care about this, or like other people are like are expecting them to have some sort of like reaction. um but they're only allowing themselves to like express the way they truly feel about this when they're like completely alone. They don't want anyone else to know like what's really going on with them or how they really feel. You included, or you especially, right? So that is really interesting. Yeah, if there's any sort of paper trail that they would have to indicate where they're really at or how they really feel, like they literally are like hiding it, or like if they look you up online, they like delete their search history, or like if there's any sort of record or evidence or paper trail of like them giving any sort of energy or attention towards you, they're like hiding it. Or like if they do have days where they're like emotional or they're like having a hard time with it, they just completely isolate themselves from others on those days so no one can see like what's really going on with them or like what they're really dealing with deep down. But it's like the people that really know them can still see like through the image that they're trying to present. Or like, yeah, if they were like upholding a certain image for a while, it's like now this is starting to crack, and the people that are, because yeah, this may have worked out for them for a while, like they may have been able to like put up this image to others like they were all good, they're still taking care of themselves, they're still living their best life, they don't care about this, like their life's perfect, everything's all fine. So people may have like went along with it or like bought it for a while, but then all of a sudden like now everything is starting to crack, and they're starting to become like too weighed down and too burdened by like this weight here of like how what's really going on, how they really feel. And so it's like the whole thing's kind of up in flames. So it's drawing people to be able to see this. It's like more evident that something is really out of balance here. This other person is really out of balance, or something's really off with them. It's like the image or like what they're upholding isn't really working for them anymore. It's like maybe before people were like, oh, okay, but now they're starting to be like, are you sure you're okay? Like, it's like starting to crack. Like, if they were able to present this image before and people were buying into it and just kind of like believing that whatever it was they were trying to present, then now there's been some sort of crack in the exterior. And so people can kind of see, like, the people that are around them that are closest to them that like really know them can kind of see through it and see there's something deeper going on here. And so it's like they feel like they have to just like isolate themselves away from everybody in order to like continue to uphold this image, or to feel as though they're like building towards something different or like repairing their life in some way. Um, yeah, it's like for a long time they may have just been able to keep it a secret, like how they really felt about the situation here. But now it's interesting because I said something about how like now it's like they've become so weighed down and so burdened by this that it's like the whole thing's kind of like on fire. So that's like drawing people in, or like attracting people in to be able to see. It's like they're almost drawing people to be able to see what they're trying to hide, because it's like getting so out of hand. Um, So yeah, they're like attracting all this attention. They're like shining a light on the very thing that they were like working so hard to like hide and keep a secret from everyone for so long. But it's like the people around them, they're closest to them, that know them best here especially, are starting to not buy it anymore, or like not believe them whenever whatever they're telling them. Like they're just like, okay, like I can see that you're obviously not doing well, or you're obviously really bothered by this or hurt or affected by this still. um there's obviously more going on here. Like the people are starting to get concerned about them, people around them are just starting to be like um worried about them emotionally. It's like they can see through what's going on, the illusion here, the image. And so then your person is just like wanting to isolate themselves away from everyone because they don't want anyone to see like what's really going on. And it's like the people that are closest to them are starting to see through them. So it's like they feel like they can't um be open with anybody. Like they just need to totally isolate themselves away from everyone here. Um, we have knowledge and lucky. So I'll read both of these for you. You are being invited. Oh, no, never mind. So sorry, that's not the right. Okay, remain teachable. There is new wisdom available to you at this time. This card can signify getting more information before proceeding. It can also signify the presence of an important teacher, or perhaps you are the teacher, and it's time to share your knowledge and gifts with the world around you. Drawing this card can also indicate a message from your Ashik records. Seek out more information about the records, or even perhaps learn how to access your own records for more clarity regarding your query. Meditate on this to learn new things or to draw the right teachers into your life. And we also have lucky. You've got the Midas touch. Everything you touch turns to gold at this time. Enjoy this winning streak you are on. Meditate on this when you need an extra boost of being in the right place at the right time kind of energy. So yeah, even though this is going on with this person on your mind, you could be calling in something new, or still like, yeah, it's like regardless of this, you're still like about to step into like an incredibly lucky like windfall period in your life, or like, yeah, with this remain teachable, or like there's new information available to you at this time. It's like maybe there's something you need to see about this situation, or you need to remain open to like your perspective shifting to be able to see what's really going on here in this situation, um, so that you can like call in, move forward and call in. It's like you're really capable. It's like if you see something for what it is here, you're able to learn um, something about the situation here, with this person on your mind. Then moving forward, it's like you're going to be really lucky in calling something else into your life, or you're stepping into this really positive and lucky period for yourself here. And so it's like being open to seeing everything that you need to see and learning everything you need to learn with this situation here, so you can be open to like receive like better things that are supposed to come in for you here. It is vital at this time to protect your energy field, as others may be projecting negative energy onto you. You may also be in an environment for which you are absorbing negative vibes that are draining you. Call in Archangel Michael for protection and to clear your energy field. Having a practice of grounding and putting a protective bubble around you every day will be helpful. So yeah, protection needed. So you are being protected from this situation, like no matters what is happening. And the universe is like working with you to like bring you your best situation. So sometimes being protected from something that we really want or we really care about is actually um the luckiest or the most fortunate thing. I just thought of that country song. I think it's by like Brad Paisley or something. It's like um the best blessings or the unanswered prayers or the greatest gifts or unanswered prayers or something. Good song. Anyways, um so yeah, it's like you're actually fortunate because you're being protected from this or because this person is like choosing to go about this in this way. It's like actually protecting you, or it's actually a blessing to you. We have denial, deception. There is a situation that you're refusing to see clearly. Living in denial can create false scenarios to see things that are not accurate. Have the courage and discernment to dig deep into the truth of the situation. So, yeah, like no matter what, like, yeah, there's something here that you're in denial about or that you're not able to see. Like, there could be something about this that's just not good for you or not healthy for you in some way. And so, this person choosing to react this way and to handle things this way is to your most divine benefit here. So it's like choosing to realize like being protected from this was like your biggest blessing or like a really lucky um, for you in some way. It's like your spirit guides and your angels stepping in to protect you. So it's like you could be in denial of like how bad this was or how painful this was or how toxic this was in some way, or I'm just getting the denial part is like you are having a hard time like really fully seeing this person on your mind for where they really are right now, right? Like who they're truly reflecting themselves back to be to others right now in this moment. It's like you're having a hard time seeing that clearly. You may be seeing them through a lens of like their potential or like who they used to be or who you think they could be, or it could just be a distorted view of like who you want them to be, and it's like they never really were that, or it's like you're not seeing like something of some sort of dynamic about something that happened here. Is it's like this was actually like the best thing that could have happened. It's like whatever ended up going down here, however things ended up happening, it's like you were being protected. It's like the best possible outcome for you here. Even if it doesn't feel like that right now, it's like someday you're going to look back on this situation and feel like so lucky or so thankful or so blessed that that happened, or that it didn't work out in some way, or that something happened the way that it did in order to protect you from something that was happening. Like you're going to be able to look back in the future and see really clearly whatever it is that you're kind of wanting to be in denial of right now or trying to resist right now in this moment, right? Yeah, you're going to look back and think like, oh, I was so lucky that that didn't work out for me, or I was so lucky I didn't get what I thought I wanted, or I was so lucky that spirit protected me from something when I was just kind of falling for like the illusion. That another thing is like there could be like the person on your mind could just be presenting some sort of illusion to the world, but it's like spirit can see that there's something out of balance here. Like spirit can see that it's like not whatever you can see on the surface is not as it seems, or is not what's being projected. Like there's deeper going on. There's like something out of balance here. It's like the weight of this. It's like if you were to actually get this or invest in this or like have this come into your possession, it's like it would actually be way more responsibility. It's like a dumpster fire waiting to happen. It's like it would actually weigh you down and burden you so much. So then it's like whatever lens you're seeing it through or whatever perspective you're seeing it through, it's like spirit is protecting you from this, because spirit can see like what's really going on behind the lens and see this is just going to add destruction to your life, or this is just going to bring pain or cause some sort of pain or heartbreak in your life in some way. It's like whatever you're seeing on the surface is not actually um, what it's going to be, right? So it's like there's an image that this person is specifically putting out there. It seems like so great and so like perfectly curated from the outside, but there's something that's like actually out of balance here. Um, there's more to it than you can see from the outside, right? There's more that meets the eye. There's it's really overwhelming here. Is actually like it seems like so great and so perfect on the outside, but it's actually going to like really weigh you down and burden you here and get you stuck into a position where um, it's like you won't be able to move forward. You'll be spinning your wheels in one place for so long that it's like energetically your life will just kind of like catch on fire, right? It'll just be like a lot of chaos and destruction. And so spirit is purposely like protecting you here, right? From something that like you either can't see or you're refusing to see, or it's like you're choosing to fall for someone's like illusions here, but it's like really they just have intentions to like break your heart, or like yeah, they're actually like hiding or withholding their true intentions or their true feelings here. So there's some element that they're like hiding or withholding or not revealing, and then it's like once you get into it you'll see like what it really entails, or like what all really goes into it, or um, how much it really is here, and it's like actually going to really like weigh you down and be this huge burden and really disservice you. So then it's like spirit is protecting you from this, so it feels like a heartbreak or a rejection or something painful right now, but it's like you're going to look back on this and be like so thankful that you got what you needed and not what you thought you wanted, right? Um, it's like even if you are choosing not to